Yeah, I learned the game from William Wesley. You can never check me. Back to back for the niggas that didn't get the message. Back to back.
Good morning, my beautiful people. This is The Ville, and I am Jada, and I have Tay, Ali, and Thomas next to me.
Yo.
And we are here once again, giving you the real. So, just as a disclaimer, I wanted to make sure that the kids under the age of 16, this message might not be appropriate for the kids to hear.
We're getting a little spicy today, man.
It's getting a little juicy today.
Oh, we gonna actually be PG-13 today?
No, we're letting them know that we're not going to be.
Cool.
So
That's
they
good.
might want to cover the kids'
gloves
ears,
off. I
stop
need
the
you to be as raw
podcast, you
as
know.
possible.
Kids, this probably inappropriate for kids today.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's begin off with the day. How is you guys' day? How's your week been? We've been going from one week to the next. How you feeling?
I guess I'll start. I went to Six
No, I want to
Flags
start with
yesterday.
Tay. I don't want to start with Tay.
We
I'm
all
sorry,
paused.
brother.
I was like,
Yeah,
You
we
was
like-
quiet
yeah,
last
you was
time.
quiet.
You be making
Yeah.
me nervous.
Nervous.
I actually feel like I had a good week this week, man.
Why,
I feel like
Tay?
God been blessing me in numerous amount of ways. I
Amen.
can't really tell y'all why the reason was, but He definitely been blessing me a lot.
Sometimes it ain't for you to know.
Yeah. That's all. You feel me? Just chilling.
Definitely. Anybody
I
else
don't
want
want
to
to
speak on your
disclose
week?
anything.
Okay.
Oh.
Jada, we'll go to you.
Yeah,
case,
my
no
week,
case.
it's just been about just hustling and just going to work, school, studying for finals. I really am not. I'm a boring person, y'all.
Mine was good, man. I went to Six Flags and I actually enjoyed myself. You know, I wasn't too tired. You know, it was kind of lit. You know, getting ready for these finals. That's been about it, man. Great week, ready for the summer. Yeah.
So, moving on to the next topic. One of our first topics is for us to be able to, let's talk about sex. You know, I'm gonna put it out there and I'm gonna just say it. How long do you wait for sex? And do you feel like however long you wait strengthens your relationship if you wait longer for sex?
When you're moving towards a relationship, right?
Yes, this is all moving towards a relationship, not just going willy-nilly, you know.
Yeah, I think that have an effect on.
I don't think it
seriously
have an
take-
effect. I feel like you can have sex the next night and it really don't depend nothing. I feel like that's something you should get out the way anyway. To see if you, I feel like that's a part of seeing if you actually like somebody. You feel like you can have sex with this person for the rest of your life or anything like that. So I feel like all that plays a part. So you might well get out the way. And we grown now, so like, do it really matter when do we have sex? Like,
So y'all don't like say you meet a girl on the first day, and then at the end of the night y'all have sex. You don't think, damn,
That
am I the
doesn't make
only
you think
one
twice?
she
No,
did
not
this
even
with?
one.
I'm being
I'm gonna
attacked,
tell
but
you
no.
something.
No, I'm
No,
just
I'm not
asking.
saying-
No,
I'm
that's
just
not a
asking
take.
the
I'm just
the
asking the
reason I
question.
say that is kind of like this. Every one thing I learned in this game, right? Every woman responds to every person different. So what I might do and try to talk to a female, my game might work.
Yeah.
That same dude might try the same female and get nowhere. It's chemistry.
Right.
So if it work, it work. I've met people who had sex the first night they've met each other or whatever and end up being married and have a happy relationship
Know what
like
I'm
10
saying?
years later. So
I'm not. Oh.
if you feeling somebody that much, then I mean, why not? It's all about chemistry.
No,
not gonna have
I
sex
mean,
with that
but
person on the
just
first night if you ain't
just
like 'em.
because you have sex doesn't mean that you have chemistry. Like, I don't think that that's where the chemistry comes from. I feel like the chemistry comes from just like being around the person and the connection and the vibe.
That's what I'm
of
saying.
being
That
with
night,
them.
you still got
So
all
what
day to
does-
learn 'em.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think sex directly connects with chemistry. Like, although it might be a part of it, I don't
Yeah.
think that is what that is.
maybe naturally.
I think
No,
I'm gonna
I
be
really
honest.
don't.
I'm be honest.
for you.
I'm not saying that like it has to be like a month or something like that. But I do
Yeah.
want some type of dudes in general want some type of chase, like
That's
something
my
that
question.
you gotta work
Like, y'all
for at
really
least.
don't see a difference
Like,
between
I see
just
the
giving it up the
difference in
first night
myself.
and then something that you actually have to work for.
I see the difference
Why I
in
gotta
my
work for it?
effort in my approach.
Because
and
it
everything. If I have to
Because-
work a little
okay,
harder.
there's a lot of reasons why
The
you
reason
should
I
have
say
to
that
work
because
for
y'all
it.
always put it in. That's why I wanted to ask this question because y'all always put it in the stigma where the man has to chase the woman, like you're the gold prize. What about
'Cause
me?
you are.
Why is it not equal? Why is I have
But
to
nobody's
chase you?
saying
Why
you're
do I
not
gotta
the
do
prize.
everything?
And
If
that's
you give it
what-
to me the first
That's a
night, oh, well, we
misinterpretation.
gonna
I don't
keep
think that
rocking.
anybody is saying that it's like the man is not the prize. I just think that it's that was put there. Maybe that rule or that ideal was put there for women to know that, okay, you are a prize, you're golden. Like, you don't have to give it up to everybody. That's not your
fact,
place.
and as a man,
So, but I
feel
don't think
like-
y'all need that. Nobody needs to tell y'all that y'all got a big enough ego enough. Y'all don't feel that way?
I feel like that was
That's-
something we
that's-
cared
Y'all feel
about in
like
high
every
school.
day
You
y'all
can't
need
do
to be
that. You
told.
gotta keep it
No,
the same
okay,
level for
no, let's
both.
keep it real. Let's keep it real though. If y'all
Nah,
feel
I've
like
heard
every
grown men
day
say this
y'all need to
in their
be
30s
told
with a real
that y'all
career.
y'all need to
If
be
I'm in my
told
30
that.
and I ain't got no wife and somebody trying to give me something, I'm like,
Nah,
Not to say you should, but we're saying moving towards a
I'm saying
relationship.
we're moving towards a
Yeah,
relationship.
it's gonna
Like,
change
not.
as you get older because your mindset gonna change. But what I'm saying is, like you're saying, well, we don't gotta explain that to dudes. No, because the man is worth it too. We gotta teach that same on both levels.
I'm not saying
So
that a
if we
man
gonna do
is
it both-
not worth it. I'm just saying that a man just does not need to hear it as often that a woman does, because women particularly go through a lot of things that are meant to kill their ego and kill the fact that they think that they're pretty about themselves. You have to think about all the stuff that a woman has to go through just to walk out of the door at the day.
That's gonna lead into a whole nother conversation.
That's
So
what
not
I'm
gonna
saying. So
respond
like,
to it.
I'm not saying that men don't like they should. You shouldn't tell a man that he look good, or you shouldn't tell a man like, okay, you're my king or something like that. But what I'm saying is that I feel like women do need to hear that a little bit more because of the daily struggles that we have to go through as women to exist in this world today.
So check this, right?
I feel like black men go through a lot too. So I feel like
That's
black
true.
men need to hear it too.
You do. But I'm not discounting that. Don't think I'm saying
I don't feel like it
that.
should be more
I'm
women
just
that
saying
get
y'all don't need to be
compliments
caught
and
up.
stuff like
Oh,
that.
you look
We're
so
going into a
great.
whole nother segment.
Oh, you.
That's
I
what I'm
know.
saying.
All right, so
I'm
let's-
just-
Responded.
So let me bring it back. So we all know sex. By the way, I'm Eddie. I'm the engineer.
Engineer.
But we all know that sex is not everything for as far as a relationship, right?
Yeah.
But here's my thing: if sex is all you have to offer, it's kind of all I want. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you got more to offer, that's what I want as well.
That's what
So-
I'm saying, stages.
So if you give it to me the first night, or you give it to me 5 months later, all you're gonna have to offer either point is sex. If you're not bringing nothing to the table within those 5 months, then when I get it, I'm gonna be like, all right, I got it now. So I mean, like, I don't have
That's
nothing
all I was
else.
saying.
I don't have nothing else to. I don't have nothing else to latch on to other than
once
that.
you get older,
Here-
more qualities
there was
fall
no
into
substance
play
to begin with.
Okay,
After
so-
hearing that, I realized something. It's based off what you build your connection off of. If you build your connection
Okay.
off of sex, then
that's what it's gonna be.
gonna be. But if you build your connection off of something else and really just fucking with each other
it
and
leads
chemistry,
to sex.
then
Yeah.
and it leads to sex,
And
then that's what
sometimes,
it is.
like,
Because
chemistry
I was trying to
be-
figure out exactly what it was. Because it's not to say that every time, like, I can't have a one night stand with the woman that's gonna be my wife. But I was trying to figure out how my thought process, and that made sense to me. Like, it's depending on how we build our connection. If we build our connection off sex, then that's what it's gonna be. But if we build our connection off like really liking each other and like the shit, like, yeah. So a question too. So say a relationship is going great, right? I want to hear it from my viewers as well. Say the relationship is going great. Everything else is cool. The sex is a little awkward. Like, y'all, the chemistry ain't all the way there, but everything else is straight. Do you teach that person? You be like, hey, this is, or do you be like, all right, this not the one for me. Let's go to the next.
Nah, I feel like it's all a learning process. If you don't, it's some things you're gonna have to teach your partner. It's some things you should want to teach your partner. It's, like, you should want your partner to know your body and stuff like that. You feel me? You should want your partner to know what makes you mad, what makes you happy, and certain things like that. They're not gonna know off just the top of their head. Sometimes you gotta sit there and explain it to them. I feel like women do that a lot. They expect men to know what they're thinking or what they want sometimes, and they just not all the way out there. I'm not gonna say it's just women, you feel me?
Yeah.
'Cause men do it too, but I feel like if you're in a relationship, you both of y'all gotta give in something. You can't just all be like, I'm gonna be stuck up because he don't know what I want. I'm gonna just move on to another dude because he don't know what I want. How you gonna know what you want if you ain't never expressing yourself? You feel me?
Facts.
That's part of the relationship.
What you think about that, Ali?
I agree with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Jada, what's your take on it? What's your take on it?
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's just, I don't know. Like, I think that when it comes down to like, ooh. Y'all want me
Man.
to be real with y'all?
Come on, let's be real, man.
Okay. So I think, honestly, I believe that it has, as far as that particularly, I don't think that as a woman and what women are actually, when it comes down to sex, I think that a lot of sex happens to please men, not the woman. I believe that.
That's heavy.
I feel
I
like
think that
that's
does.
heavy.
I feel
I
like
do.
that's-
I've
I
heard
actually
like a
believe
lot
that.
of,
I
I've
know-
heard
I
a
feel
lot
like
of conversations.
A lot of women.
Like, let me tell you
Tell me
a
that.
conversation that I heard. Okay. A certain person I was having a conversation with, and she was basically saying, like, when she's having sex, all he does is just have sex, and then don't even worry about like what, like once he's done,
Yeah.
it's done.
He's whack as fuck.
Yeah.
No,
so-
but that's also
and that happens a lot. I feel like as far as like that, I feel like men just put a different twist to like what sex is. Like,
Nah.
'cause that's why it doesn't mean as much to me in my relationship in my relationship, because I don't think that women really press on sex. Like we don't really
Yeah.
when it comes down to what the relationship is. I don't feel like we do.
Yeah, I feel like also about like it has to do with how it's portrayed in the media
That
and everything
too.
of what sex is.
That too.
So you're never really taught to cater to the needs of a woman during sex.
You're really not.
And when you see it in the movies, when you see it in shows, it's never like catering to the woman. So of course, I feel like that's attributing to the reason why a lot of dudes just don't know. And
Yeah.
a lot of women don't know.
And that may
that's
attribute
not
to the fact that because dudes have had sex way at a young age. So like when at a young age, like were y'all ever thinking about like pleasing a woman?
No.
I've
Were you?
always thought about that.
Always.
Oh,
I didn't.
re-
I cannot be happy if I'm not
Really?
pleasing my woman.
That's
Oh
a
my
part at a young.
God,
I'm
no.
not saying right now. I'm saying when you were younger in high school.
When I
you're
was young in
telling
high
me
school.
that that's
Oh, no,
what
no,
you
no,
were
no,
focusing
no,
on.
no.
Yes.
Because I don't believe it.
Yes.
Nah,
Really?
not in high school.
It
Not in high
depends
Yes.
on what
When you
grade in high
first
school, I
started?
guess.
Yes.
Wow.
It
Wow, that's a
depends
lot.
if I liked you or not.
Hold on. We got
What?
one of our viewers saying something. Blessed _2x said if there's no intimacy connection, it won't work because a big part of the relationship is intimacy for men.
For me.
I told you that. I didn't want to offend
See?
nobody, but I'm chilling. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I've had sex.
Yeah,
with
I
women.
felt like
If
you was
the-
falling back on that question. I know it was
Oh,
good.
yeah, you
I'm
falling
just
back.
chilling. Nah, because sometimes people don't be understand what the hell I'm saying, and I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings
Yeah.
today because I'm really just trying to chill. I had a hell of a week, but nah, dead ass, hell of a week. But I've had sex with people. If the sex is not good, I will cut you off. I will not go there with you. That is a big part of my relationship. That's just how men are. Well, I can't speak for men. That's just how I am. However, I think that is, as a youth, no, I did not care. Why? Because I didn't look at it as her as a woman. I looked at her as
Exactly.
an object.
Right,
And it
definitely.
says
That's
always
what I'm
like
saying.
tell
I'm saying
them
when you first
no, that's what I'm
learned.
saying.
Yeah.
So when I first would meet women, I'll be like, yo, I got some pussy or something coming through. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Not even thinking about it, that's really subjecting her only into an object. So I was only thinking of it like that until I got older. But if I liked you, then I would take my time with you and want to get to know you. It's a difference. You take time, you make time for what you want to make time for.
Yeah.
And that's in everything. So that comes down even with sex too. If I look at her with not even no goals of like trying to take it no other level, I'm just trying to hit anyways. There ain't no point in trying to get to know you.
Right.
If I like you and I see a future, then I'm gonna do those type of things. I operate based off how I like you, and a lot of people do that. I think a lot of people are subjective
Okay,
to do that.
so-
And I'm just the one speaking out of it.
This is
'Cause
just
I'll
me
give
being
you
the devil's advocate.
Okay.
Okay. So are you saying that if since you expect to get what your pleasure, and let's say you're with a girl that you don't feel like deserves that or is equal for that for you, isn't that kind of saying that you deserve more than what she does at that moment?
No, what I'm saying is, you put it that way, but what I'm saying is, I put effort into what I enjoy and who I like. So if it's just sex, I'm gonna just keep it strictly sex. That's it. I'm not thinking about trying to make you come and make you happy. We're here to get a nut and keep it moving.
You're
Straight
here
up.
though, not we.
No.
Don't say we.
Well, yes, it is a we. It takes two to tangle. Stop saying
I don't
it
think
takes-
that's really. I don't think that's
Because
no.
we can,
No, I'm
we
not
can
saying
have
that
the
it's not like
intention
y'all not
of,
collectively.
I don't gotta like you, but we just deal with each other because we have good sex together. You dig what I'm saying?
I guess, yeah,
the-
that is
Well,
another.
also a question for you, Ali. If you are not fucking with a girl based off
That's
her
what I'm
sex,
saying.
off her sex being whack, is it because you built the connection off sex,
Well,
or is
no,
it because
because
you
I
built
know
the
sex-
even if
sex
you
later
believe
on-
the connection off just being fucking with her vibe and seeing that she authentically a
Well,
good person?
The reason I'm saying that, that's why I say it's based on the relationship. But if it comes down to marriage, like I can have sex with somebody and we not get along. I've done that before where we don't like each other really, but we just have good sex, so we deal with each other. You know what I'm saying?
So this-
I've had situations where she's a great person, but the sex isn't there. So I know, for me, I know I'm not gonna marry nobody where if you may have all the qualities, but if the sex is not good, I'm not gonna marry you. Why? Because I know me. If I'm not satisfied at home, I'm going to step out. So what's the point of doing it? You're not gonna set me up. I know me. I want to be happy.
So this actually goes really great into our next topic. Is a relationship? So do you believe that a relationship is based off of sex and can it exist without it?
No, it's part of. It's
can't
not
exist
based off
without it.
solely off of sex.
Okay, so
No,
let's
it
say
can't-
somebody.
it can't
Okay,
exist
so if you're
without
saying
sex.
that a
No,
relationship
I
can
didn't
exist,
finish. No, I said it can't be solely, but
What's
yes,
the
it is based
11%?
off. Yeah, it can be based off
don't
sex. Yeah, not solely.
I
but
think
yeah.
I think that it can exist without it. I think that a lot of people exist in a relationship without having sex. I just don't think that it's a healthy relationship, and that is what
That's
I think
scientifically
is,
proven.
Yeah, that's what I think. But I think they exist in the relationship and it's there. Probably a lot of married people probably
you know what?
do.
Yeah.
So
there is. You can tell there's a lot of relationships where it's not. But
Y'all just roommates.
but are they genuinely happy?
that's
No.
the question. That's
I
the
don't think, I
that's
don't
the real
think you
life
can be. I
question.
don't think you can be genuinely
Not
happy
at
in a
all.
relationship
Yeah.
and not be sexually active.
I
Not
have.
at all.
Unless you're older. Once you
I
get
think you
older, I
can.
feel
I
like
was
you
about to
just
say,
be
like,
living
I think
life
you
with each
can.
other for the
I honestly
last
think
days.
you
But
can.
Sex
You know.
doesn't. I'm not. To be honest with you, bro, I've had a great life, right? As far as that department, sex doesn't motivate me anymore. Sex does nothing for me.
And why you could cut off a relationship on bad
I'm
sex?
about,
Hold
to,
on,
I'm about
hold
to
on.
explain it, Ben. I'm about
Explain.
to explain. It's not the. I said it matters, but it's not the sole purpose. At first, it used to be the
Of
sole
course.
purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Now I understand. You know, you got to compromise with certain things, but it. How can I put it, man? I'm not even finna answer. Just go ahead.
I mean, I just think that it just,
True.
I don't think that it is based off of it. I just feel like because there's so many other aspects that come into mind when I'm thinking about, okay, well, why am I in a relationship with someone? And sex is
Okay.
not at the top of my list.
Okay.
Most of the time, it has to do with the vibe and the type of person that they are and like what I feel
So,
like, how I feel when I'm around them.
this
Like
is what I
that's
was gonna
how
say. It's
I
just like,
get that
for me, it's
connection.
like levels, right? On how you deal with somebody. I feel like you got your lower self and you got a higher self, and a lower self, we deal with frequencies, and when we're dealing with our lower selves, we're dealing on a physical aspect, right? That's
Yeah.
your lower, your mental and your spirit, and then it's mental and you got spirituality and all of that. So that's what these levels of connections. I can connect with somebody and all of that on a physical level, and that's just be what it is. So it may only be about sex because where we're at on that frequency is where it's about sex. But if I enjoy you, and like I was saying, in that energy, then it becomes not about just sex anymore. It becomes about the experience because now we're building on the intellectual level. I've learned that the most sexual organ on the body is the brain. So now, once I got you physically, the mind's gonna follow. Once I get the body and we come to that frequency, you explore the mind. Because now that I got a mind, think about orgasms. Most times with orgasms with a woman, it's because she's opening herself and actually really and being comfortable with you. A lot of women can't have orgasms because they're not fully releasing, being comfortable. Once I get the mind, the body is gonna follow. So the most sexual organ is exploring the mind, but it's about where you're at in life and what frequency you're on. Right now, I'm on an intellectual frequency, so that physical level does nothing for me right now. But turning me on, having a conversation about stocks, marketing, what you see in the future, now that turns me on. Sexually, that turns me on. So it's different frequency. It's not all sexual
You need a nerd in
intercourse.
bed.
It's
You need a nerd.
it's not
You need a
all
finance
about-
major.
So I
Any
have a
finance majors,
question.
hit my boy up.
I have
man.
a question for you guys. Okay, so do you know how like when we was younger, we have like our parents have always told us that you're too young to have sex. Do you believe that that's actually like something that's real? Like you can actually be too young to have
Yes,
sex.
absolutely.
I think-
Okay, so what would that
because a
age
lot
be?
of people don't realize that that's an emotional thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, especially in your early teen years, you're going through a lot of emotions too. Your body is changing. A lot of times your relationship with people is changing. So I feel like that's a lot to put on somebody at 13.
Would you change it
at
versus
14.
boy versus girl?
Yeah.
You would?
Definitely.
Wow. Okay.
I
Okay,
haven't
so
thought
tell
about
me,
that.
give me your age, girl.
What
And give me your
I'm
age, boy.
saying is, at the end of the day, one, I never heard you're too young to have sex. My parents never told me that.
Okay.
We talked about sex and all of that, but I was never told I was too young.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because thinking about that question, both my parents would respond differently because of the child. If it's a male, I could tell you personally, I got caught with condoms in my pocket at 13. My mother response to it was totally different. My father response to it was, hey, good shit. At least you're using condoms and you getting it. You know what I'm saying? We when it comes to, let's just be honest, when it comes to sex, we're different with our daughters and with our sons.
Absolutely.
My father encouraged me to have sex, but he taught me to be safe. But men, we encourage boys to actually be sexually active. When it comes to women, we try to teach them not to be and stay away from it in a sense. Like, don't do this, don't do that. So a father would you think a father gonna tell his daughter to go be out here, but then he'll tell her
He's
tell
being
that
a bad
same daughter to
dad
stay
if he
away,
is.
and then go turn around to his son and be like, get it.
Yeah.
I seen it. So
I get it.
depends on the parent. The mother and the father thing totally different. I believe when it comes to that when it comes to a boy and a girl.
What you think, Jada? You think it should be an age, and if so, what?
I think that it definitely is an age, and I also think that it's boy versus girl. See, I have a hard time with that because me being a girl, I feel like it should always be equal. Because at the same time, with me being like actually getting to know the difference between a woman's mind and a man's mind, and when I grew up, when I actually learned that and understood that, I really feel like it might be a difference. But I don't feel like at a certain age a boy should have sex, because I feel like the women still get pregnant at a young age. They just gotta have a period. So
my thing,
I would be terrified of that, and that's what would make me not want him to be having sex, not the mindset type thing, I guess.
My thing too is like with women having sex, I would say, well, at a younger age, I feel like a lot of times older dudes would take advantage of that.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing with
That
it.
definitely is true.
Because a lot of people don't realize how big of an emotional thing having sex is at a young age.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of older people. It could either be on the opposite side with a younger dude.
Yeah.
When you're older, you know how to manipulate that for people. And so that's my biggest hang up with having sex young. That's why I think you should be at a certain age when you understand what the fuck is going on and what's the real repercussions to this
Shit,
is.
some niggas that's 40 years
So-
old that don't need to be having sex.
Okay, so but do y'all really feel like once
If you 40 and you don't know what the fuck sex brings, that mean that's on you and you're oblivious, and that's
I'm
totally
just saying,
your fault.
All right.
Okay, so moving on to the next topic, getting juicy here. Does shacking up before marriage affect a relationship's success?
I feel like it does. I feel like you should definitely live with your partner before you make a commitment to blend bank accounts, blend assets, blend your life, blend your family. You have to know if you can really live with this person, because they could be the best person in the world, but if you sit there in that room after 2-3 months and you're like, I literally can't live with this person, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like it's a problem.
I think that it definitely, I won't say it strengthens or weakens the relationship. I just think that it definitely will tell you whether or not you want to be in the relationship.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like, well, I'm not even whether or not you want to be in a relationship, whether or not you want to go to the next step of marriage, because that is something totally that a different level of
'Cause
what a
y'all could just ride
relationship
it out
is.
till the
Yeah,
lease
you know
over.
what I'm saying. So I think that if you want to marry somebody, I think that's when you know, okay, you're gonna be in the same household as them. So like it's just certain tendencies about people when you're home versus when you're out in the public, and that's everybody. Like you're just comfortable. So when you're comfortable, you become your real self.
Yeah.
So like I feel like people should definitely experience that if you plan on taking your relationship to the next level.
And you also want to see how that person is when they 100% have their guard down.
Yes.
You're most comfortable at home. So I
Yes.
want to see how you're acting when you not putting on a facade. You ain't coming over to my house with a bag. And
Not coming over my
how cooking works, cleaning works. It's that stuff, that's very important stuff. It
Yeah.
sounds minuscule, but like who cooks, who cleans, who takes out the trash, all that stuff is stuff you're going to have to work out. And for some
Yeah.
people, it may seem little, but that'd be a big deal for people. Sometimes
It does,
women,
because
women,
it might be an
like, yeah.
everyday thing.
That's
and
something
that's
that
what
is
can get on
every
your
day.
nerves,
That's
you know
every
what I'm
day.
saying?
Food,
So
cleaning,
it
different
might
stuff.
seem small, but
So,
something small every day,
every day
can get on
add
your nerves.
up. Yeah.
I feel like that's for parents to come in. That I feel like you really get to see how somebody was raised when you
Yeah,
live with
you
them.
definitely
feel me?
do. Yeah.
But some people are just.
Oh,
That's-
yeah,
that's important.
wow.
Cause like you were
definitely
saying,
feel
they do put on that facade when they come out. Like some people are really clean and stuff like that when they come out, but you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you at a house, it's really not like that at all. So I feel like you just get to see the real person when
Yeah.
you do that.
Yeah, I think that's important too. Yeah, because you can put on a facade for everybody, but when
Yeah.
you seeing the person every day, you see what that
Yeah,
what they be leaving. Yeah,
that wall goes down completely.
yeah.
It has to.
You see what's really up.
But I was thinking that I actually looked this up, and they're actually saying that it does not. It actually leads to divorce
Wow.
after marriage.
I believe it because it's all the
They're
small
saying-
things. You gotta
Yeah.
think like if you low key OCD,
They said it
you never
does.
gonna see that shit like when you out on the date or anything like that. Ain't nobody ever gonna know that you OCD like that. You feel me? But when we get home, you living with me and you see how dirty I am and all that shit. It's like, ah.
Question. Hold on. They said
They're
that
reasoning that shacking up before marriage leads to divorce.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
But let me tell you what their reasoning was. Their reasoning was
little
because
things.
it's what you kind of give more. One of the reasons was because you give more of the time where you are having to be with this person before that commitment. Like you're existing like around that person all
you're
the time. So that's
exhausting
that's marriage
your-
before really marriage because you're around them 24/7. So you literally see their processes of changing as a person through different stages. So you see them through every single process
But-
of their worst.
But my thing is, if you can't do that
Then
with
you
the
shouldn't
person,
be
then you
together
shouldn't be
anyways.
together
That's true.
anyway. That's
That is
my
true,
thing.
too.
Because my thing is with the person I want to marry, I want to be with for the rest of my life. I would want to be able to be with you
Yeah,
5
through all
years ago,
that.
through all
Yeah.
of that, and we still be moving forward and moving strong. And if we can't do that, then that means we weren't meant to be together in the first place. So that's my only thing with that statistic. I'm
What
just
about you,
like,
Ali?
hey.
I agree pretty much with y'all saying.
You staying quiet on this topic, boy.
One of our viewers said that data is from 20 years ago. Cohabitation is increasing and marriage rates are falling.
Oh, okay. Well then, hey. Well,
Shout
that
out to
is true.
Shania,
We
man.
had talked about that. We had
Yeah.
talked about how marriage rates were falling, and we were saying that basically, like, what was the reason why we felt like that? What was the reason behind that? But I just think that from my version of it, I think that I definitely feel like shacking up is something that eventually needs to happen in a relationship because that is when the guards are down. That is when everybody just literally you just release yourself and you become naked. So like
Yeah.
you're unable to cover up anything just because that person is next to you all the time. So
Yeah.
and I think that a relationship kind of needs that because you get to know that person at all levels.
Yeah.
And that is what I appreciate about it is that you just are able to look at a person and say, okay, I can see you for exactly who you are and I can accept that and I can still love you throughout that.
Facts.
Okay, next topic. That was, I didn't know I was going to end it off like that. But could you take back a cheater? This is a viewer's pick topic. And this is brought to you by Tati Taught You on Instagram. Y'all go follow
Shout
her.
out to Tati, man.
So could you take back a cheater?
For me, not saying that all levels of cheating ain't wrong, but it just, I feel like if you actually going out and you physically being with somebody, you physically touch somebody, the physical part is more of the, damn, that's fucked up, we gotta break up, you feel me? But I feel like you flirting with other people and stuff like that, that's just wrong, and that's something that you have to make a decision based off of both of y'all. Like, do I want to be with somebody that flirts with somebody else? Like, that's something that you got to decide, like, because those are things that are wrong, but that's not something I would say is automatic, like, breakup, because those are things that's, like, you're not going to go step out and, like, talk to another girl if everything's okay in your relationship, you feel me?
I feel like niggas
certain
just be
dudes-
doing stupid shit.
Black men don't
sometimes.
cheat.
Black men don't cheat, but black men do
yes,
stupid
y'all
shit
do.
sometimes. I feel like shit could be still good, and you know, you get a couple drinks, you feel like you
Yeah,
out of
and
town,
you-
and you
and
start
you
That means you
Flirting
just don't
shit.
like her. That means there's
Nah,
something going on in the
I don't think that's
relationship.
it.
I don't
I
feel
don't
like
think
you would
that's
actually take the time to go step out and have a whole nother relationship.
Not a whole nother relationship. You went from
Y'all
flirting
know
to a whole
that-
nother
that-
relationship.
Nah, I'm saying it's
Flirting.
different level. I'm saying
Yeah.
flirting is wrong. All that stuff is wrong, and that's something that you and your partner have to sit down. If she catch you flirting with somebody, that's something y'all have to sit down and talk about. And it's like, all right, she
Saying
might
it
take you
depends
back.
on what you do. Depends on if
Yeah.
it's gonna take
Yeah.
you back or not. You
But-
can flirt. We'll sit down and talk about it. You fuck another dude. I'm not.
It's
taking
over
you
with.
back.
Like that's not
That's
even.
what he
We're not even
said.
talking about that. You feel me? So, and I feel like that comes with. That's a part of you going out and having dates with somebody. That's a part of you going out and being in somebody's house, laying up under somebody, like sneaking out, like not having a certain time that y'all normally have together, and you taking that away. And you going to put that time with somebody else. That's just like.
Here's the
that's
problem
over
with
with.
that. Here's the problem with that.
Okay.
So logically, that's sound, right? Because I'm one of the most logical people. But however, sometimes your heart makes you do other things that your mind can't control. So you're saying that, bro. Listen to me. Trust me, bro. When you really care about somebody, bro, it doesn't matter what they do. You can hate them. Love and hate is one, bro. One cannot exist without the other, bro. So when that person hurts you, that is pain. That is a form of love. It takes somebody to love for you to love them, for you to have that feeling to be so upset and hate. I've done it where I've taken somebody back that's physically stepped out on me, and I wanted to, and you know what I'm saying, and I've had to sit there and came back before. Not saying I don't value myself, but I've also said that I won't, you know what I'm saying,
Now,
won't
hold
do
on.
it here
Now,
and
why did that relationship not last?
because it was a toxic relationship. But it's not about the actions. What I'm trying to tell you is you can't prepare about how you feel about somebody. You can say that all day, but if you're emotionally connected to that person, does not matter what they do. You take them for their faults, and sometimes that can be detrimental to yourself and that
That's
relationship.
definitely
But
True.
once it becomes detrimental to yourself,
So you still gotta
it's
pull
gonna
away, but
become
I'ma still
toxic
have-
and you're gonna pull away.
You pull away, but guess what? You're still gonna have thoughts about that person. You still gonna
Yes,
think
and
about
you're
doing
still
all
gonna
of
have
that.
those thoughts about them stepping out and cheating on you physically with somebody.
Yeah.
That's totally different.
But
If
we're,
you have to
we're
carry
not
that,
talking about whether or not you're gonna be thinking about it. We're talking about whether or not you're gonna take them back or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I just
You'll
think
take
that
them back, but it won't last. How
Yeah.
about that?
Last,
It's
that's what I
not
said.
gonna
Yeah.
It's toxic.
I think,
but
but
because
see,
you feel some way with them, you will keep putting
But
yourself
you
in
can't.
a
But you can't
situation.
say. Here's my thing about it. This is where I battle mostly with it. Is that I don't think I could. I'm not gonna say I would. I can't take back a cheater. I like. Well, saying cheater is. It feels
It
like
is
it feels
what it is.
repeated. Cheater feels repeated to me, so I don't like saying that. Okay, so if you cheated on me before one time, like I would like as far as that, like I, being a woman, me knowing myself, knowing that I have definitely done it multiple times before, I feel like what I battle with it is when I do that and when I say, okay, I'm not going to break up with you or I'm not going to do whatever I'm going to do, I have a problem with existing in a relationship with you without hating you. And that, because you still love and hate at the same time. So like it's hard for like, and that's what I feel like ends up ending the relationship, because now I'm in a caught in between hate and love.
Yeah.
And that's
Love
what
and
that
hate
problem
is the same energy. It's all about.
But
it's
not-
the same.
It's the same
Nah,
passion.
but what I'm
It's the
saying
same
is
It's
that
the
it's-
same energy is about how you transfer it, though. Is it positive or negative? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
I'm
the
not
same-
saying that it's
Oh, I'm
anything
agreeing with
different.
you.
I'm just saying that it's, yeah, I'm just saying that
saying
it's
the-
a thing where it's now a problem in between. I don't know if I'm upset enough about this to leave you, or if I'm upset, or if I love you enough to just stick through it. That's what my problem is.
Here's another thing too. One of our viewers, shout out to Kyla, she brought this up about emotional cheating. So for me, emotional and physical cheating are also very different, but they're very important still. Like emotional cheating, that's a different level for me, because not only
Yeah, that's
are
different.
you, it's not exactly physical, but you're a lot of times you're sharing shit about me to another person. So this
Exactly.
motherfucker over here know more about my relationship
That's
not
than I
emotional
know.
cheating,
No, no,
that's-
that's
That is
emotional cheating.
emotional
You're confiding,
cheating.
you're confiding in somebody else for
confiding
your
in
feelings,
somebody.
and at that
I
point,
just
that
think that's
person,
just
no,
being a
let
shitty
me finish.
person.
That person knows more about your relationship than you do, because a lot of
Yeah.
times she or he is also telling that person what they won't tell you.
Yeah.
So
I
my
think
thing
that's just
is
a
that
fucked
that's
up
still
person.
a big thing for me, and that's
It
still
is.
breakup worthy, because it's like, damn, you telling this motherfucker more than you telling me about our relationship, and now this person knows,
see,
can give me
that
advice.
can be
on my-
fixed.
That can
That's
be
something
fixed.
that you can
No,
come back
But
from.
it
No,
depends
it's
on
not.
how
It's
big of
not.
a how good of a connection they
It's
built.
not.
Because just like you can have a relationship with your spouse, they can also build a close relationship with another person. And a lot of times that cheating, when they end up leaving people, is because
Yeah.
they built that an emotional attachment that they can't get over. Even though they sleeping in bed with you, they still think about that other person.
Yeah.
So I say don't undermine emotional cheating, because that shit
'Cause
is
it's-
very
yeah,
important.
it's very
like
important.
if they in your mind, they can be having sex with you and still be thinking about that other person in their head. And for me, that shit is goddamn just as bad
Yeah.
or damn near worse
Yeah,
than
I feel
physical.
you.
Because
I
if
feel
you
you.
having sex with that person, then you leave and then you don't think about that no more. Versus you haven't even had sex with that person, but that person still running through your mind while you talking to me, while you having
Yeah.
sex with me. That shit is
That is 10 times worse to
Hey.
me, honestly. But I just feel like if it's so, what would your definition of cheating really be? Like, what is the definition?
We
Could
have
you
to
define
understand
it?
it's levels to it, but
There's
I feel
levels.
like in a nutshell, anything you wouldn't do in front of your partner or want your partner to know about.
I agree. What about y'all? Would you define it as anything differently than that?
I guess I'd say the same thing as that, really.
Yeah, definitely.
But it definitely got levels and steps. And
Yeah, it's
hills and
levels
valleys
to
and all
it.
of that.
Yeah, I
It's a
think it
hierarchy.
definitely does, and it depends on like what. For me, I'm a real big like good and bad type person. Like I like a lot of times I try to see like what outweighs the other, and
Yeah.
that kind of gives me my
Yeah.
answer to a lot of things. Because one thing that I wholeheartedly believe is that 9 times out of 10, if you're not supposed to be in a relationship with somebody, signs come way before the cheating. And I know that as a person, I know that with being a woman, I know all of that. Like know when a dude is not really treating you right. It just depends on what standards that you are going to accept and what you're not. And that's the hardest thing to understand, is that a lot of times us as women, we don't really realize the control that we have in the relationship because we love them so much, you know. But it really just has to do with you just putting out standards and you understanding from the get-go, this is what I feel like cheating is, and this is what I feel like cheating isn't. Because I think that's what also makes relationships kind of rocky, because you don't really define what you feel like cheating is.
Question. Okay, so one of our viewers, shout out to TT, she said any type of entertaining. She said she considers that cheating. You entertaining, you cheating.
I do too. I mean, it's hard because my thing is I consider cheating anything that, like you said, you wouldn't do in front of me. So if you wouldn't do the same exact thing, if I'm sitting right next to you watching you, then you shouldn't do it when I'm not there.
Keep that same energy, basically.
Keep that same energy. Like, geez, that's what I need. But we're gonna keep it on rolling, keep it on moving. Oh, that's interesting. Should marijuana be regulated by the government?
That scares me.
It scares you. Explain that. Why does it scare you?
Food is also regulated by the government. Amen. And I feel like it's on a downturn. And I feel like that's why a lot of people are getting cancer, because they are regulating stuff. So I feel like when they have the power to regulate marijuana, which is, I think, we use it at similar rates as other races, but I feel like they'll find a way to make it to where we start having health complications down the road if they're regulating marijuana. I feel like I trust the plug down the street before I trust the government
the plug down the street.
To regulate marijuana.
Yeah, I had the same opinion on that, but mine isn't more as like they'll be putting something in the weed. Mine is more as like they'll be finding a way to lock up more black people once they start regulating the weed. Once they got the control in it, they're going to start putting things in the police officers' hands that can regulate weed, can tell if you're high, all this stuff.
Yeah, they already doing trying to figure out how to make the breathalyzers.
You know what I'm saying? All it's going to do is incarcerate more black people.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to do.
Well, honestly, I think that...
So my issue with it is... Well, go ahead.
You're fine. No, you good. Go ahead. I lost it when you started talking. You good.
It's an issue with regulating with marijuana. One, not just because one of the issues is health, but most important is economically, right? What we have here with this industry is an industry that's created a monopoly in keeping the working class who built that industry from grounds up out. So if you research it, it takes about average $250,000 to about $500,000 have a mill to start dispensary business. These corporations have already invested money, and they're keeping the taxes purposely high so that way damn near nobody can afford to stay in. Taxes for selling marijuana in the state of California is 40%. That's a sales tax.
Yeah.
When you go to the store, sales tax in Georgia is 7 cents to $1. So just imagine, you know what I mean? That's crazy. That's the issue. And then what you did was you eliminated your competition by creating a free market where everybody that has sold drugs before, you've created a situation where they can't open dispensaries or get involved in it, and now you control the competition. Then when you're talking about regulating, we can't trust the government with anything that they be testing. So I'm gonna test you with my marijuana in the lab. This is natural. This is not. I don't trust it. And 2, and then 3, I'm talking about money in the community. Like at the end of the day, I look at the plug as a black-owned business. So
entrepreneurship.
I'm not with it. And and for the record, anybody that know me, I'm a pothead, bro. Like I smoke. And real talk, I'm a pothead, and I'm not with the. I start thinking about it more. It becomes dangerous when we become regulating.
Yeah.
Because we don't control where it comes from. Exactly. It's an issue with that. I'm not.
But also, hold on. Here's another thing. Do we not know? We don't know where it comes from now.
Yeah, it's not like
really. We really don't trace it. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I still don't trust the government.
That's not being devil's advocate, but that's an actual fact. That's what I was breaking down to somebody the other day. When your plug tells you, "Oh, this is OG this," and half the time he don't really know what it is. You have sativas and you have indicas, right? These are the original plants. There's actually three original plants for marijuana. I can't remember the third one. It became extinct not too long ago, but a couple hundred years ago. Oh yeah, I know the science of this weed. It became extinct, but everybody will tell you when you go in there, oh, this is a sativa dominant. If you ever been to a dispensary, it'll tell you it's a sativa dominant or indica dominant. Guess what? There's no such thing anymore. Scientists can't even trace the root back to where the plant is, because what's happened is in the labs they're trying to get stronger gas or stronger marijuana. They're crossbreeding them and they're playing with the genetics of the plants. And so what's happening is they're hybrids. A hybrid means that there's mix and match between the legs. So there is no such thing. It's just like just everything in one. There's no such thing as a
like genetics nowadays. Nobody's a pure anything.
Perfect example. Like we can reproduce certain things genetically with DNA, but then when we're talking about reproducing humans, it becomes an issue, right? It's the same thing about the things that you're consuming in your body. If it's not natural, you shouldn't be consuming it in your body, and that's what they're doing.
And another thing too with like I think they started a program in Oakland where they said like 50% of dispensaries are set aside for people who had previous marijuana charges, but stuff like that is like affirmative action stuff. It looks good on paper, but it actually ends up not benefiting the people it was said to benefit before, because like he said, it's also still a bar of entry. So you might be able to still open up a dispensary because you, even though you have a marijuana charge, but you still got to come up with $1 million worth of assets. You still got a lot of other barriers that you have to come up with before you can open up this dispensary.
Let's put it like this. If you ain't got your money in, I learned from an investor a long time ago. If people are talking about something that's popping right now, you're already late to the game.
Facts.
Perfect example.
That's
when
true.
Bitcoin came out, you was talking about cryptocurrency. You was
Bitcoin.
already
Bitcoin. I thought you said Bitcoin.
I know what you said.
Yeah, Bitcoin. You know what I'm talking about. I gotta just listen. So Bitcoin, everybody would hop on it because it was popping. Just like with this marijuana industry, they've been playing this. They've already set up in a system to where you're not in it. So now you have to find a different way to get involved in it. So whether it's logistics, whether it's creating technology and apps so that you can find dispensaries and connect other people. You got to be innovative and find a way for it to make it work for you. Because guess what? I'm gonna just be real with you, boo boo. You're not gonna get a dispensary.
I just feel like okay,
you can
so
know
here's
if you grind,
Yeah.
if you grind, you can get
Here's
it
You
done.
my
can get
question
a
to you
part of it, but
guys.
you're not gonna be a major player. These are corporations. The industry is changing.
Here's my question to you guys. If the only way that it could be legal is if it was regulated by the government, would you be pro marijuana?
Huh?
Would you be pro of passing that act? If the only way it could be legal is if it was regulated by the government, would you be pro it?
Would you still
making it legal?
Would you still want it
You
to
not
be legal,
understanding
even though
what I'm
it's
asking?
regulated by the government?
Yeah. Would you want it to still be legal?
I mean, to be honest, it don't really matter because I'm gonna smoke regardless. To be honest with you, like,
No, I'm asking. Like, would you be? That's okay. So you wouldn't care whether or
Our
not
viewers
it's
saying
legal.
no. Our viewers saying they wouldn't trust it.
They wouldn't trust it.
Mm-mm.
Would you
I
trust
mean,
it?
I feel
Legally,
like
Bree
he's still
say
going
no.
to the same plug. The plug was still growing his own weed anyway.
Yeah,
Well, some of the plugs grow their own weed. if you
But
actually know
the,
some.
there,
But you're
once
changing
it's-
whether or not it's legal or not, illegal or
Yeah,
not.
but I just still go to him, get my weed from him, and then go smoke it like
But
it's legal.
here's another thing I've been thinking about too. Once they legalize weed, the plugs they're gonna be extinct because they're not gonna be making much money when you think about it. Because what's gonna get the plugs is convenience. When you some people be hitting up the plug like, damn, the plug ain't coming.
So
I've been hitting them
what
up
do you
XYZ,
think-
but you could go across the street and get some
What
Where do
weed
you think
in
a lot
5
of this
minutes.
weed is coming from these plugs? Do you not know some of this stuff is already regulated? What they're doing is, before California or Washington can sell their certain products in the dispensary, they test the weeds for certain things. So they can say,
I'm not speaking on California. I'm speaking on like as in our state that where illegal is
I'm
now
about
illegal.
to speak to, because what happens is when you make laws, the laws are based off what other states do.
Mm-hmm.
So they're already studying California and what Washington are doing. But what I'm saying is, when we are regulating, what is happening is how, because people are going to make money. All I'm saying, drug dealers are still going to get it, because what's happening is the marijuana that they're rejecting, such as, let's say it has parasites or too much certain things in it to grow. Yes, you got to think they're farmers. Some people are doing
Parasites.
putting certain things in the stuff to make the stuff grow. It creates parasites and all that in the stuff, so they reject it. What happens is the dispensary people are finding avenues, and then they'll sell it illegally to a drug dealer. So sometimes the weeds that you're getting are the rejected weeds from the other dispensaries. Listen, I do this.
So
But-
is it
Yeah,
to say
so that's
government
why-
weed
that's
might
why
be
if you
safer than the
notice-
plug
hold
weed?
on, that's
Is
why
it-
you notice
I don't know. It's
back
a lot of
in the
plugs that
day-
grow weed too, though.
Yeah.
if you
But
notice
not
back in
many.
the day,
Not many.
you wasn't getting sick from smoking like that. It's to the, like, you can get sick from smoking a lot. It's a whole bunch. This weed was not as strong 20 years ago. It's not natural the way it is right now. It's causing health problems.
Yeah.
So something got to come
I
up.
also want to say too, I feel like we as black people, because this has like impacted our community so much, I feel like we need to figure out how to take initiative and how to at least invest in the marijuana industry right now. I'm big on like right now I'm trying to like buy stocks and stuff like that. So I'm trying to buy stocks in these companies. You could take your spare change. I got the apps stash. You can put some money in there, you know, just to the side. But I'm big. I think we should definitely invest in this because I want us to have some power at the end of the day in what's going on. And the thing with the companies too is once you have a certain percentage of the company, you are empowered. So once black people go and own 51% of the shares of a marijuana company, they have to answer to black people. Those are your shareholders. Those are the owners of the company. So we got to get out there, man, start buying stock in these marijuana dispensaries, in these companies, so they didn't have to answer to us. We need to have power. I'm tired of shit popping and everybody making money off of us. They're going to be making it off of us. So I say we go ahead and start investing, man, start investing into these publicly traded companies and start getting into these policies, figuring out how they're going to try to legally get people once this shit is legal and stay on top of this shit, man.
For real.
Definitely.
Moving on to the next topic. Elementary school kids and middle school kids are getting into fights and it is resulting in someone dying. This is another viewer's pick topic. It is brought to you by Asia Light 17. And let's bring this up. Let me give you a little bit more detail about this. Number one, these kids are females. So I know you probably your mind automatically went male, but no, these are females.
Wow.
And two, these are a group of girls on one girl. And they're at the age of 10 years old and between the ages of 10 and 11. So we're going to talk about this because this is something that I really wanted to really bring light on, because when I actually looked it up and when I looked up the research behind it, like it's been in multiple places. Like it's been in South Carolina, it's been in Atlanta. And as me trying to understand, like I don't get the mindset of what could have possibly been that big at the age of 10 that you felt the need to go get a group of your friends to go jump a girl and you ended up killing her.
I feel like all this stuff starts at home. I know it might be like off the wall for me to think there, but I definitely feel like it starts with communication. I feel like, because I know we can all think back to when we was in high school and middle school, and most of the stuff that we was complaining about, crying about, that stuff really ain't mattered.
Ain't shit.
But it took you to grow up just to look back and be like, dang, none of that stuff really mattered. But there was still some kids there, like the people that we call nerds and people that was quiet. They were always woke. They understood that I need to do my schoolwork and all this little shit right here. None of this stuff
fight
matters.
Ain't gonna matter.
None of this stuff is gonna matter. But that all really came from the communication at home. If they wasn't taught that at home, then you're not gonna think that when you go out in the real world. Everybody kid's not going to the high school and shooting up the high school. That's your kid. That's because you not communicating with them. That's because you feel me?
I feel like parents do have a big part in it. But I feel like also another big thing is now the what we like the reality TV world and just social media in general are
TV?
making let me tell you why. Love and Hip Hop, a great example. It's an entertaining show, but what it does is it normalizes people fighting, in particular black women. Every episode is somebody throwing a glass at somebody. It's somebody fighting, and it's not over something big. It's over something little. Oh, she said this. Oh, she talking mess on social media, or and they throwing glasses. So what that's teaching young girls that's watching that is that's what I do when I feel like somebody talking bad about me. I'm gonna throw a glass. I'm gonna fight you. And that's how you're gonna get gratification from it. Because when you think back in the day, the fights used to be the season finale. That used to be the season finale. People get kicked off the show. Now a fight you get a fight on every single show. A fight is we're desensitized to
and
that
let me
shit.
tell you the
It's
difference. Let me
normal
tell you what also stands out. Let me tell you what also stands out with Love and Hip Hop and all reality shows. When it comes down to the men, and when the men are talking, they keep the men far away from each other to the point where they can't even get to the fact that they could touch each other. Like they don't. Like they literally most of the time the men are in between the car or they all the way on the other side. When it comes down to the women and they know the women are about to get into arguments, they let that woman sit no further than what Thomas is away from you.
So what I'm saying is that kids going into a school.
But listen, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they're giving women the opportunity and the place to go fight if they wanted to, but they're not giving men that option. They're glorifying women fighting.
Okay, that could probably play a role, but what I'm saying at the end of the day is communication with you and your child. You got to make your child grow.
It's communication,
Even
but
if
you
you're
also have to take it.
communicating,
You have to know
it's still a
at the
possibility.
age of 13, most children have more influence from their peers than from their parents.
Yes.
So you can talk to your kids, but at a certain point, you still have influence from the environment around you. Just like people
But
in
see,
the
this
streets,
thing that I don't
people
get.
have parents that tell them. I'm sure a lot of people have parents that tell them, don't do this, don't do that.
And
You can do all of that, but
if
your
you're doing it the
surroundings
right way-
can
no,
still
if you're-
affect what you're doing. No,
If
you're not
doing
finna sit here
If
and
you're
tell me
doing
that
it the
so your
right way,
surroundings don't.
if you're doing it the right way and you're communicating with your child the right way, then there's no way he's going to miss what you're saying to him. It's no way that you came up from the slums, you came up not having money, you came up being poor and all that stuff, and you saying there's no way you can relate to your child. Like, dang, I know we're going through the same thing, and I know I messed up my life, but I know what to tell you, and I know how to get you right so that you don't have to go through this with your children.
But
You can tell people stuff, but
communication.
sometimes people have to experience it to really learn from it. And you
understand.
thinking that it's normal because that's what you're seeing. Your parents could be telling you,
Yeah.
hey, this is not how you do stuff. But if you seeing that's how people handling shit, it's gonna be once or twice that you gonna pop or
Yeah,
you gonna do that
and you
because
have to
that's what
think-
You
you're
might
seeing.
think about it, but
No.
I'm trying to tell you, bro, that's not something. Everybody's not going out there. Oh, I need to shoot somebody because I saw somebody on TV shoot somebody, and that's how you got.
That's not what I'm saying.
That
I'm
doesn't
not
make
saying that.
sense.
I'm saying that what it does is that it pretty much normalizes it for them
It-
because
exactly.
they're not seeing no consequence behind that. They're
Exactly.
seeing consequences behind a kid that's going up shooting up a school. They're seeing that. That's on TV.
On Love and Hip Hop, they not
On
going
Love
to
and
jail.
Hip Hop, you're not going to jail.
But in real life, your
But guess
ass
what you
will.
are doing? You're getting paid for it because that's
Especially if
getting
you
more
black.
viewers on TV. So they're getting
Yeah.
more money just because of the fact that they're fighting.
Okay,
So are parents allowing their kids to watch Love and Hip Hop?
I'm
See,
saying
here's
I don't
what-
feel like everybody.
here's what I think
is
the-
watching that
the
type
No,
of
narrative
but it's not just Love and Hip Hop. I
possibly
said
is.
that
It's
as
not
an
just Love and
example. It's
Hip Hop,
also
though.
It's like
social media.
Yes,
Oh.
it's on
It's
social
the
media
media
as
in
well.
general.
Well, I feel better if
Yeah.
y'all came at it on the social media aspect and y'all coming at it like Love and
No,
Hip
no,
Hop.
no. I was saying
reality
don't
TV
get it
I'm
construed.
saying
I'm not
just-
saying Love and Hip Hop is the
not
root of
just-
all evil.
yeah.
But I'm saying that's a part. That's an aspect
It's
of
an
it. But it's
aspect
really
of
like
it.
the social media and everything. We're just normalizing these fights and shit like that. So kids are thinking that's how you resolve problems, and that's really not.
It's not.
If we stop normalizing that, I feel like it'll definitely decrease what's going on, and I feel like it's increased because when you look at our what's going on, and that has increased. Being able to see fights,
Okay, well,
you can
look,
see a fight
Y'all
wherever you
saying
turn the damn
normalizing
TV.
it. I don't feel like it's been normalized.
It
It just
hasn't.
finally
No,
being
it
put on
has
social
not.
media. It's
No,
finally
it has
being put
not.
on
So
TV.
it has made
No,
so
it
it's
has
made it
not.
accessible for kids.
Exactly.
Okay, I
And that's the
understand
problem.
that.
The social
But it's
media
been
has
normal.
made it.
People
Alright,
dying.
check it out,
people
check it out,
getting
check it
killed.
out,
It's
check it out,
normal.
check it
It's
out,
been-
check it
it's
Tay,
been
out.
But we
Alright,
have. There's a difference. Go
Okay,
ahead.
can I say something? Because y'all just going back and forth, and at the end of the day, y'all are talking about two different things for the same thing. Both of y'all are right. What Tay is saying is, as a parent, your parent should be more influenced in controlling what they're doing, what they're watching, and what they're doing. It's easy for a parent to go in there and regulate what their
It's
child
harder
is.
for your friend to come do that for
Well, I'm just saying. Let me just finish. It's easy for the. Let me just hold on. Let me finish. It's
not true.
easy for the parents to go in there and regulate what this child is watching, what they're being influenced to, what their programs they're putting them in, and sometimes that works. I know some kids who have some dope ass parents that control certain these type of things, and they were
still-
able to have that connection with their child, where their child, when they was on their own, no, I'm not smoking, no, I'm not gonna go breaking nobody's house.
Hella
But then
kids
at the
like
same
that.
time, you're right too. Other children may be more influenced outside. Both of y'all are right. It's no one way or no other. Y'all are both right. Both
Yeah.
of these are a reality. Parents need to be more involved in controlling the aspects and understanding technology, but also we have to be aware that certain things that we are watching and that they're perpetrating are influenced behaviors. Y'all are both right.
Yeah, and we have to take into account too. The parents are definitely the foundation. It is very important. But now you're able to see it more. It's not just when you get home. Now it's when you in class. It's when you walk into the bus. When you getting off the bus, you can see stuff like this all the time. So that's just my thing on it.
But when do you feel like that kicked in, where you started seeing all that type of stuff, like middle school, high school?
Once social media became a big
Yeah.
thing.
Bro, who-
yeah.
So like
like-
middle school, high school, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
But that's also the time where you're more influenced by your peers. Your parents could tell you all day
Your
not to
most
steal, but it's still
influential years
people
is like
who
age 1
friends
through
be
5.
stealing from the stores and they go and they stealing
Yeah.
Snickers bars and shit. You are very influenced by your peers, especially
You are.
at them ages.
At that age, you
I
are.
Don't
feel
tell me you
I
not.
feel- I feel
You are.
Your
But that's
parents
not
are
your
still
most-
the foundation.
Yeah.
That's not
They
your
are
most
responsible.
influential years.
But yes, you are. Because my
Yes.
parents, you could tell your kids all the time. That's a perfect example, not to steal from the store. Everybody parents tell them that
Yeah.
shit. But when you get around a group of kids that's stealing Snickers and chips and
And
shit
your
from the
parents
store,
not
your
there?
ass, you gonna
So what
grab
you're
her. You gonna
saying-
grab
no,
her.
you're not.
No,
You're
not
not.
everybody because
Not
I didn't. I
everybody.
didn't.
We're not-
But
Okay.
but those are. It's still a large amount of people,
Okay.
or not a large, but it's still people who do that, and that's because you're influenced by what's around
Everybody
you.
needs to be taught to in a certain way. It's
Yeah.
certain different ways
You're
you gotta
right.
get to certain people. You feel me?
Definitely.
And I feel like your parents should know that the best, how to get to you.
Definitely,
Yeah.
they're definitely responsible.
That
So we could
definitely
go
is.
ahead and
I
go
just
on
think
to
we
the
just need
next.
to take our responsibility as a society and what we put out there and just know that that could be affecting kids that are growing up. That's all that I just kind of wanted to say about it. Like, we do have an effect on them as well, not just people's parents. And I think we just should take the responsibility of that and at least not glorify it even more than what it already has been glorified.
Yeah. Our viewers saying some good stuff. Got Carlos, she said, I agree with him, though. It all starts at the home. We got Brother Suave. Parents are only with their children when they're in their presence. And another one, Shania, she said, peer pressure is real.
It
So,
is. It's
uh,
real. Like, and you never know. Like, so if it's not saying that one's right and one's wrong,
Yeah.
we're just putting out like our different opinions. Nobody's saying one is right and one is wrong. That's not what anybody's saying. It's just saying that these are both things that are happening right now, and we're just pretty much saying that. So on this day, we have gotten down to our on this day, what we do every show. And it is a special day today, guys. On April 27th, 1927, it was Coretta Scott King was born in Martin, Alabama.
Hey, shout out
So
to Coretta,
it is
man.
her birthday. So happy birthday. Rest
Happy
in
birthday,
peace,
rest in
Coretta
peace.
Scott King. And let's just have a great day in honor of Coretta, y'all.
Yeah.
Anybody got any last thoughts?
Um,
Last thoughts? Nobody got last thoughts?
um,
Okay, I got one. I have I just want to let y'all know, when I was watching TV, I realized something now. Every movie, if you ever see a woman bring out a pregnancy test, she pregnant, you ain't got to guess it. Like, it's automatically going. They would not waste the time to put a pregnancy test in a movie or a show or something if the woman wasn't pregnant.
Wow, that's
That's
cool
just a little bit of tea.
tidbit. Hey, I'm just gonna give inspiration, to my people taking finals. My people at work. It's grind time right now. We about to get into the summer, man. Y'all keep y'all head up. Stay in them books. It's about to be over. We only got a couple more weeks, man. Stay up.
I would like to say, man, stop waiting for opportunities. Go look for them. They all around you. God put them in your life for you. You just gotta take the time to go out there and do the work and just find them and execute what you're trying to do.
One last thing, y'all. Y'all stay tuned, man. We having a $100 giveaway very, very soon. The details are gonna be on our page. It might be on the next video, but $100 giveaway is coming soon. All you gotta do is subscribe. That's the first step. All my viewers that haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, Theville ATL, THEVILL ATL. Go ahead, subscribe, man. $100 coming soon, and you can win it, man.
Yeah. And this is Jada. Follow me on The Real Jada Dean on Instagram.
It's your boy One Tay. Y'all can follow me at _1 TAE_.
Joaquin_Ali.
It's your boy Thomas. Follow me at Thomas_Jones, the letter I, the letter V.
And we are The Ville on Power 108.9. See you later.